I don't know if you want to go back and pick up. I have to give a little background for people to know what I'm talking about, in case you haven't seen all the videos I've done, or Facebook, or known me over the years. Believe me, everybody around Roanoke knows all this. But this will be, I'm going to name it, the first video that I just finished, Hustler. And then I'm going to name this one Hustler 2. Yeah. Now then, I've told about my dad, King Edward VIII. I've told about the double that was used and the 99-year seal placed on him that married Wallace Simpson. My father was married to Claudia O'Keefe, who was sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe. She was Catholic, Irish American. Which the British citizens have been the people that paid the price, and the Germans and all this. They're the good people. Oh, wow. This is my uncle, George, who is the illegal monarch. He joined forces with the Illuminati New World Order. Roosevelt, who was president. I was born in 1939, by the way, and this is when this picture was taken. They were planning my kidnapping. This is the results of it all. Elizabeth's got her back. She's illegal. I'm living on the Appalachian Trail, getting everything done to me in the book. And look how cute they look with my money. And even named their son George after the man who took down the British government and kidnapped his own niece, Victoria II. That'd be me. And his own brother, a decent man. Very decent. Why do you think he took him out? So that's the New World Order. Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Kennedys. By the way, the Clintons, and, well, I guess every one of the presidents. I'm not sure about Jimmy Carter, but most of the presidents were. And I wrote about mind control murders. Let me get that in. And if you care to go back to the prior tape, you'll understand that was done at nearby. He's from here, Roanoke, Vinton, and he finished college at Virginia Tech, Blacksburg, and there's a whole list of murders there, mind control murders done in patterns that you'll never hear about. They'll just call the shooter, who was programmed to also shoot himself, as deranged. And believe me, these people know it. Oh, yes, they do. Now then, they've used my illness. I'm allergic to chemicals. And over the years, I've been force-fed them. And I'll go back to August the 14th of 2009. I went up to Roanoke Mountain. It's a national park off the campground off of the Blue Ridge Parkway. And I was camped legally. I was paying. And the hosts were retired Virginia State Trooper Carl Barton and his wife Linda. Okay, they know about me being, of course they did. But anyway, during the night, my tent, which was a Sierra, which I would get, they're good, put it that way, because I've had to move around. Now then, in the night, the tent was soaked in fuel. I had to get out and sit on the picnic bench or table till the next day. Now here is what followed. They offered to take me down. I still had some money on me. I could have gotten something, but then you get in the cab, etc. But I still could have. But they offered to take me down to affordable corporate suites off Starkey Road. Now then, they took me down there, which on the surface, if you don't hear the background on it, it makes them look like they're doing me a favor. And I'm just this nutcase running around telling what the government's doing, showing, and nobody cares. They're afraid of it, and I'm going to try to get into that before I lose you here. Okay, Starkey is off Starkey Road, where they took me. And Ringo Starr, you get into, I'm British, and you get into the association like Moonraker Apartments where I did the book, and Lawrenceville is used in here a lot, or uh, Lawrence Flint or Larry Flint, Lawrence McDonald, Larry McDonald. Lawrence County was where I was taken when I was kidnapped. Montgomery is Montgomery, Alabama, the state capital. Lots of murders, but they entail a lot of other patterns. Like Montgomery County is where Virginia Tech is, where the mass murders April the 16th of '07 happened, and this, a whole bunch of them. A state trooper's daughter and her friend was shot over there and killed, and as far as I know, you would be arresting the person that shot them when they're a victim of mind control, and these I'm talking about. But anyway, I don't know if I'm trying to show you. Let me say this first, and then I'm going to try to get this on the tape, of why people, just a moment of it all, of why people will do these things against me. It's law enforcement that's doing it. Back when I did the book, MD, A License to Kill, '79, I got a letter from the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I was down at the FBI office many times, and my ex-husband was down there with me. And he would go in there supporting me, and then in the middle of it all, he'd make it sound like, oh, well, I don't believe any of that. It was shocking. Okay. Got a letter from the U.S. Attorney, June the 23rd, which is my father's birthday, King Edward VIII. And it was '79, and then on April Fool Day of '80, I was filled full of antifreeze. So I'm going to let that go there, but I'm going to tell you, I should have died. I ended up across the state line working in Huntsville for Madison County DA Fred Simpson, as in Simpson was supposed to marry my father, King Edward VIII. Instead, they used a double. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe. I was born in '39, and they're planning it here, my uncle and Roosevelt and the Kennedys, her grandfather, and then her father. That's the reason the Warren Commission covered it up. Now then, they've used my illness against me. I'm allergic to chemicals. And they've had me in part, and this is their law enforcement. And they're with, a couple of them are with the Marshal Service, and then, or the FBI. So, I want to go back, and hopefully I can connect it before this goes off, this video. When I worked for the doctor, when I was doing the book, I worked for doctors, by the way, but he was one that put the did a heart bypass and put the chip, and that's when I started learning about mind control and its usages. You can control someone's decision making. It's not your decision, it's someone else, and you don't even know it. But anyway, when I left there, I was writing the book there. Denise, the secretary, who we were in the same office complex, but we weren't, we weren't in the same office. But anyway, after I left, so we weren't friends, just really acquaintances. After I left there and I was living at Moonraker, doing the book, she called me out of the blue, and here's what she said to me. She said, I'm leaving the doctor's office. I won't mention his name, but it's probably easy to go back and check out like everything else I've told. She said, before you came, I wrote prescriptions, and she used the doctor's license number, but she used patient's name, and she would call it in. She's the secretary, okay? She'd call it in and put another patient's name. It's supposed to be for another patient, but she picked them up, the drugs. So that was one thing they had on her, to get her to comply with what was being done to me. Now, there's different methods they've used. They've used someone's son or daughter being on drugs and buying them or selling them. In other words, rather than prosecuting them, they would get them, the law enforcement would get them to do things against me. It's unreal. It really is. Now, I wanted to go into